The journey of embracing the anti-hero within begins with understanding that greatness rarely comes from playing the role the world expects. Most people spend their lives trying to fit into a narrative written by others, parents, society, friends, critics, but the individuals who break through, the ones who rise above, are the ones who stop seeking permission. They stop asking for approval. They stop waiting for someone to choose them. Instead, they choose themselves. Being the anti-hero isn't about being a villain. It's about refusing to shrink your ambition just to make other people comfortable. It's about accepting that your path may look different, your mindset may be misunderstood, and your grind may intimidate those who settled for less. The anti-hero is the one who fights the battles most people run from, who embraces the flaws that others hide, and who uses those flaws as fuel to become unstoppable. The Rock became who he is, not because he fit the mold, but because he learned to break it. When life hit him with hardships, failures, and setbacks, he didn't try to pretend everything was perfect. He didn't try to play the clean-cut hero who always wins. He embraced the darkness, the pressure, the struggle, all the things that shape a champion. Every scar he carried became part of his story. Every moment he was counted out became the momentum that pushed him forward. The anti-hero doesn't wait for the perfect moment. He creates the moment by stepping directly into the uncomfortable, the unknown, and the difficult. He is willing to take risks others won't. He is willing to be doubted, judged, and misunderstood because he knows the mission is bigger than people's opinions. When you embrace your anti-hero, you stop avoiding your weaknesses. You face them with honesty, and you use them as a foundation to build strength. The anti-hero acknowledges fear, but moves anyway. He acknowledges doubt, but works anyway. He acknowledges pain, but keeps going anyway. That is where true power comes from, not pretending to be fearless, but acting in spite of fear. Life has a way of testing you in moments of silence, when no one is cheering, when no one is watching, and when no one is validating you. The anti-hero thrives in those moments. He becomes his own motivation, his own reason, his own accountability. He uses loneliness as a training ground, rejection as redirection, and hardship as an invitation to evolve. Being the anti-hero also means owning your story, the good, the bad, and the brutal. You accept that not every chapter will make you look strong or successful. Some chapters will show you broken, lost, or overwhelmed. But those chapters are the exact ones that shape your character. They give you depth. They give you grit. They make you capable of things most people will never understand. You don't run from your past. You use it to build your future. You don't hide your struggles. You let them sharpen your mindset. The Rock didn't become iconic by erasing the painful parts of his life. He became iconic by letting those moments light the fire inside him. The anti-hero is the person who refuses to quit when things get messy. They keep showing up, they keep grinding, they keep pushing through pressure that would break the average person. While others complain, the anti-hero adapts. While others wait, the anti-hero acts. While others fear failure, the anti-hero uses failure as an advantage. There is a certain energy that comes from knowing you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to follow the rules to succeed. You don't need to fit into anyone's expectations to carve your own path. Embracing the anti-hero within you is embracing your rawness, your resilience, and your relentless drive. It's accepting that you are not here to be liked. You are here to grow, rise, and conquer. You're here to turn your scars into strength, your mistakes into mastery, and your setbacks into setups for greatness. You are not supposed to be flawless. You're supposed to be unstoppable. And unstoppable people are built in the dark, shaped by adversity, and powered by a refusal to be ordinary. When you start thinking like an anti-hero, everything changes. You stop looking for the easy route because you realize the hard route is where champions are made. You stop waiting for someone to save you because you understand you are your own rescue. You stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. You stop shrinking yourself to make others feel bigger. You stand tall even when your knees shake. That's what makes the anti-hero powerful. The courage to walk alone, the drive to keep going, and the strength to rise even when everything inside you wants to fall. The world doesn't need another perfect hero. It needs individuals who are real, relentless, and willing to fight for their vision, even when the odds are against them. Embrace your anti-hero. That's where your true transformation begins. Turning pain into relentless power begins with a simple truth. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a messenger. Pain is a teacher. Pain is the pressure life applies to reveal who you really are beneath the surface. Most people run from pain, hide from it, or complain about it. But the ones who rise, the ones who transform themselves into something unstoppable, learn to take that pain and convert it into fuel. The Rock did not build his legacy from comfort or ease. He built it from moments that broke him, moments that humbled him, and moments that forced him to choose who he wanted to become. Pain was the spark that ignited his transformation, and it can be the spark that ignites yours. Every setback in your life carries within a kind of energy, an energy that can either suffocate you or strengthen you. The difference lies in what you choose to do with it. Pain from failure, pain from betrayal, pain from disappointment, pain from being underestimated. This kind of pain has the potential to forge a person capable of extraordinary achievements. When you stop seeing pain as punishment and start seeing it as preparation, everything changes. Pain is preparing you for the moments you prayed for. It is preparing your mind to be disciplined, your heart to be resilient, and your spirit to be unshakable. There will be seasons in life when everything feels heavy, when every step feels like a struggle, when you feel like you're climbing uphill with weights tied around your heart and doubts wrapped around your mind. But these are the very moments that shape warriors. These seasons either break you or build you, and you decide which one it becomes. The Rock faced moments where he had nothing, financially, mentally, emotionally. He had times when he questioned his path, his worth, and his future, but instead of letting the pain drag him down, he used it. He turned it into energy for the gym, motivation for his goals, and hunger for success. Pain forces you to confront the truths you would otherwise ignore. It forces you to evolve. It forces you to stop accepting a version of yourself that no longer aligns with your potential. When your heart breaks, you learn strength. When life knocks you down, you learn endurance. When people leave, you learn independence. When things collapse, you learn how to rebuild. And every time you rise stronger. Every time you push through, your mindset becomes sharper. Every time you endure something that was meant to destroy you, you gain a kind of power that cannot be taken away. Transforming pain into power requires you to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift in mindset is everything. It helps you see opportunity where others see defeat. It helps you recognize growth where others only see loss. Pain can either be the chain that keeps you trapped or the hammer that breaks the chains altogether. And the moment you decide to stop being a victim of your pain is the moment you gain your power back. Many people try to numb their pain or escape it, but nothing powerful ever comes from running away. Power comes from facing it head on. Power comes from taking the heaviness in your chest and turning it into drive. Power comes from taking frustration and using it to sharpen your discipline. Power comes from taking heartbreak and pouring it into self-improvement. Pain is raw energy, and when channeled correctly, it is limitless. Some of your strongest breakthroughs will come right after your deepest pain, because pain clears out what you don't need, burns away the old version of you, and makes space for the person you are meant to become. It strips away your excuses, your weaknesses, your fears. When life gets hard, it's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to extract your strength, your courage, your perseverance. Diamonds are created under pressure. Champions are built under intense strain. And powerful people are molded through painful experiences. Turning pain into power also means refusing to stay down. It means you allow yourself to hurt, but you don't allow yourself to give up. You acknowledge the pain, but you don't let it define you. You feel it, but you fight through it. Resilience is created in those moments when you could quit but choose not to. Every time you keep going. When it hurts, you rewrite your identity. You stop being the person who breaks easily and become the person who cannot be broken. When you learn to convert pain into power, you become unstoppable because nothing can control you anymore. Not fear, not loss, not doubt, not failure. Everything you go through becomes fuel for something greater. Everything that once weakened you now strengthens you. Everything that tried to break you now builds you. That is the mindset of a warrior. That is the mindset of a champion. And that is the mindset of someone destined for greatness. Pain is inevitable, but power is a choice. Choose power. Choose growth. Choose transformation. Take every wound, every scar, every painful chapter of your story and turn it into the fire that pushes you forward. Because when you learn to turn pain into relentless power, nothing in this world can stop you. Building discipline, when no one is watching, is the true test of who you are and who you will become. It's easy to show up when people expect something from you. It's easy to work hard when the cameras are on, when the world is applauding, when supporters are cheering you forward. But the real greatness, the kind that lasts, is built in silence. It's built in empty gyms, in late nights, in early mornings, In those lonely hours where the only person holding you accountable is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Discipline is not a performance. It's a commitment, a personal contract you sign with yourself, promising that you will show up regardless of how you feel. The Rock didn't build his success in front of millions. He built it in those hidden moments long before the world cared, those mornings before sunrise where he forced himself to show up, to push his limits, to do the work even when he didn't feel motivated. That's the part people don't see. The grind, the repetition, the sweat. With no applause, discipline is forged in moments that look insignificant to the world but mean everything to your future. When you choose discipline in silence, you are shaping a version of yourself that becomes unstoppable in the spotlight. Most people rely on motivation, but motivation fades. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes like the weather. You can't build a lifestyle, a dream, or a legacy on something so unstable. But discipline is a decision. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when your mind screams for comfort. Discipline is the voice that says, I don't care how tired you are. Get up. It's the force that tells you, keep going. Your feelings don't get to decide your future. Motivation might start the journey, but discipline finishes it. When no one is watching, you learn the truth about yourself. You learn whether your goals are real or just empty words. You learn whether you're committed or just interested. You learn whether you're willing to sacrifice comfort for progress. The Rock always talks about putting in the work. Consistently, relentlessly, without excuses. He knows that the reward doesn't come from the moments people see, it comes from the thousands of moments they don't. That's the difference between average and world class. Average people need accountability from others. Champions hold themselves accountable. Every time you choose discipline in private, you're training your mind for war. You're conditioning yourself to do what others won't. While others sleep, you prepare. While others procrastinate, you execute. While others wait for the perfect moment, you create momentum. And the more you practice discipline in silence, the easier it becomes to dominate when life gets loud and chaotic. When you've spent years practicing consistency without applause, you become unstoppable when the world finally pays AT&T. Inshin, building discipline means setting standards for yourself and refusing to lower them. It means saying no to shortcuts, no to excuses, no to the easy path. It means controlling your impulses, your habits, and your decisions. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you want to be. It's the tool that transforms potential into progress. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams. With discipline, dreams become goals and goals become achievements. The hardest part is that no one will clap for you while you're building discipline. No one will acknowledge your sacrifices. No one will celebrate the early mornings, the late nights, the skip parties, the extra hours of work. And that's exactly the point. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it for mastery. You're doing it because you know the grind will pay off in the long run. Every rep you do in silence will echo in your future success. Every disciplined choice you make is a vote for the person you want to become. There will be days when you feel drained, uninspired, and overwhelmed. Days when your mind tells you to stop. Days where taking the easy route feels tempting. But discipline is choosing your future over your feelings. It's choosing growth over comfort. It's choosing consistency over convenience. And the more you practice this, the more you realize discipline is not a punishment. It's freedom. It frees you from regret. It frees you from mediocrity. It frees you from falling short of your potential. The Rock's legendary discipline is not magic. It's not reserved for the chosen few. It's built through daily choices, daily habits, daily effort. It's built by deciding every single day to show up, no matter the circumstance. And you have the same power. You have the same ability to build discipline within yourself. You don't need inspiration. You don't need validation. You just need a clear vision and the willingness to honor it. When you build discipline in the dark, you shine effortlessly in the light. The world may never see the work you put in behind the scenes, but they will always see the results. And that is the reward of discipline. The transformation that speaks for itself. The transformation of limiting beliefs starts with recognizing that the biggest barriers you face are not the ones around you. They are the ones within you. The world can doubt you. Circumstances can challenge you, but nothing holds you back more than the quiet voice in your mind that whispers, you can't. That voice is not truth. It's not reality. It's a set of rules built from fear, past failures, insecurities, and the opinions of people who gave up on their own dreams a long time ago. The moment you decide to stop obeying those rules is the moment your life begins to transform. Limiting beliefs develop from experiences you've outgrown but still carry. Someone told you you're not good enough. Society taught you to stay in your lane. You made a mistake once, and now you think you're incapable. You failed before, so you fear trying again. But those rules were written by a version of you that no longer exists. You are not the same person you were when those beliefs formed. You're stronger, you're wiser. You've survived things you once thought would break you. It's time to question the old rules and rewrite them with new strength. The Rock became who he is because he refused to accept limitations that others tried to place on him. People told him he'd never succeed in wrestling. They told him he didn't have the look for Hollywood. They told him he should make safe choices, play small, follow the predictable path. But he saw those rules for what they were, suggestions, not truth. And he chose to break them. He chose to believe in possibilities others couldn't see. That's what it means to break limiting beliefs, recognizing that the boundaries in your mind are self-made, and therefore they can be destroyed. Every belief you hold either empowers you or restricts you. A limiting belief is like a cage that keeps you living a smaller version of your life. You might not see the bars, but you feel them when you avoid challenges, when you doubt yourself, when you settle for less. Breaking these beliefs requires courage. The courage to question your thoughts, the courage to confront your fears, the courage to choose growth even when your mind begs you to stay safe. Growth, never age. Happens inside your comfort zone. It happens the moment you step beyond it, the moment you attempt something your mind tells you is too big. One of the powerful ways to break limiting beliefs is to shift your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself becomes the way you see yourself. If you constantly tell yourself you're not ready, not smart enough, not capable, your mind will believe it. But if you feed your mind with strength, possibility, and action, you begin to redefine what you can do. Words create reality. When you speak like someone who believes in their potential, your actions begin to align with that belief. Another way to destroy limiting beliefs is through action. Action is the antidote to fear. Every step you take, no matter how small, weakens the belief that says you can't. The more you act, the more evidence you gather that you are capable. That's how confidence is built. Not by waiting to feel ready, but by acting even when you don't. The Rock didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't wait for validation. He moved, he learned, he adapted, and every experience chipped away at the old beliefs that once held him back. Breaking limiting beliefs also requires you to surround yourself with people who challenge you, not people who limit you. Some people see your potential and support your vision. Others see your potential and feel threatened by it. You must learn to recognize the difference. If your circle reinforces your limitations, you will stay limited. If your circle pushes you forward, you will grow beyond what you thought possible. Protect your mind, protect your energy, protect your ambition. You must also accept that breaking limiting beliefs is uncomfortable. Growth feels like fear at first because your mind is stepping into unknown territory. That discomfort is not a warning. It's a sign that you are expanding. Every great transformation begins with uncertainty. Every breakthrough begins with a step that feels risky. The anti-hero within you must be willing to break the rules of fear and embrace the unknown with courage. Your limiting beliefs were not created overnight, and they won't disappear overnight. But every day you challenge them, every day you choose discipline over doubt, every day you push one step beyond what you thought you could do, you weaken their hold on you. You start to realize that you were never actually trapped. Your mind just needed permission to grow. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped accepting the limits you inherited. Imagine the strength you would unlock, the goals you would chase, the version of yourself you would finally meet. Breaking the rules of limiting beliefs is the key to accessing that version. It's the foundation of every great accomplishment, every powerful transformation, every legendary story. The world will always try to define you. Your past will always try to remind you of who you used to be, but you don't have to accept any of it. You get to choose your beliefs. You get to choose your identity. You get to choose your future. Break the rules that keep you small. Break the beliefs that hold you back. Break the limits that were never real to begin with. When you do that, you unlock a level of power you never imagined you had. Rising stronger from every setback begins with understanding that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the plot twists that make the story worth telling. Every person who has achieved greatness, every champion, every leader, every icon, has faced moments that pushed them to the edge. Moments where quitting seemed easier. Moments where the weight of life pressed so hard that standing felt impossible. The difference between those who rise and those who stay down is not talent, luck, or timing. It's the decision to see setbacks as fuel instead of failure.
Setback is not a sign that you're unworthy or incapable. It's a sign that you're being prepared. It's life sharpening you, building resilience, strengthening your mindset, teaching you lessons you cannot learn in comfort. The Rock's journey wasn't a straight climb. It was filled with pain, rejection, uncertainty, and loss. At times he felt broken, at times overwhelmed, at times buried. But he refused to let the setback define him. Instead, he used every blow, every disappointment, every closed door as a reason to come back harder and stronger. When something in your life collapses, a dream, a relationship, a plan, it's natural to feel lost. But rising stronger means understanding that you can rebuild from the ruins. In fact, the strongest versions of people are often forged when everything familiar falls apart. Your mind becomes sharper, your purpose becomes clearer, your hunger becomes deeper. When you rise after being knocked down, you're not rising as the same person. You're rising as someone who has learned, grown, and evolved. Setbacks also show you weaknesses you didn't know you had, and strengths you didn't realize were there. They reveal your blind spots, your fears, and the places where your mindset needs refinement. They push you to step out of patterns that are no longer serving you. Pain forces evolution. Struggle forces creativity. Pressure forces progress. You may not feel it in the moment, but every setback is doing something for you, not to you. To rise stronger, you must first allow yourself to feel the impact. Strength is not about pretending that everything is fine. Strength is not about suppressing emotions or denying the hurt. True strength comes from acknowledging the pain, but refusing to be owned by it. It comes from allowing yourself to process it, while still maintaining the belief that his moment will not break you. Rising stronger begins internally, by shifting your mindset from why is this happening to me to what is this preparing me for. Failure has a way of humbling you, grounding you, and reminding you that growth is never finished. The Rock often says that being hungry is what keeps him driven. Setbacks feed that hunger. They remind you how badly you want the goal. They remind you why you started. They remind you that you still have fight left inside you. When you rise after a fall, the fire inside you burns brighter than before. You become more determined, more focused, more resilient. Rising stronger also means refusing to allow setbacks to become excuses. It means not letting fear, disappointment, or frustration become a reason to quit. Quitting is the only guarantee that the pain wins. But persevering, pushing forward, turns the pain into purpose. Even when you move slowly, even when progress feels invisible, every step forward builds momentum, and that momentum eventually becomes unstoppable force. Another important part of rising stronger is temporarily letting go of what you expected so you can embrace what's possible. Sometimes a setback is a redirection. Sometimes the door that closed was not the door meant for you. Sometimes life removes things from your path because you were aiming too low. Strength means trusting that even when everything feels unfair, the journey is pushing you towards something greater than you imagined. One of the most powerful ways to rise stronger is to use setbacks as a mirror. Look at what the challenge taught you. Look at how it tested your character. Look at what habits, mindsets, or people you need to adjust or release. Growth requires honesty. It requires looking at yourself without excuses. Setbacks force that honesty because they expose the gap between where you are and where you want to be. When you start seeing setbacks as stepping stones instead of barriers, everything changes. You begin to approach challenges with confidence instead of fear. You begin to understand that resilience is not built in comfort, it's built in adversity. You realize that every time you rise, you become harder to break. You become more adaptable, more capable, more unshakable. The Rock's career is a testament to this truth. Every time life pushed him down, he rose with more power, more drive, more clarity. Not because he was fearless, but because he refused to let fear dictate his destiny. He kept showing up, he kept fighting, he kept reinventing himself until the world had no choice but to recognize his strength. And you can do the same. You have that power. You have that potential. You have that resilience inside you right now. Rising stronger is not a gift for the chosen few. It is a decision available to anyone willing to endure, to learn, and to keep going. The next version of you, the stronger one, the wiser one, the unstoppable one, is on the other side of the setback you're facing. Don't back down. Stand up.
rise, and rise stronger than ever before. Becoming unstoppable through ruthless consistency means committing to your goals with a level of discipline that does not bend, break, or fade. It means showing up every single day, regardless of mood, circumstance, motivation, or convenience. Most people work hard only when they feel inspired. They give their best only when life feels easy. But the people who rise above average, the people who build legacies, the people who become forces of nature, are the ones who operate with consistency even when everything around them is falling apart. They build routines that don't rely on emotion. They follow principles, not feelings. They train their minds to honor their commitments long after the mood they made the commitment in has disappeared. The Rock's mindset has always been built on ruthless consistency. He didn't become a global icon by showing up once in a while, or only when he felt motivated. He became unstoppable by showing up every single day, day after day, year after year. When he had no money, he kept working. When opportunities fell apart, he kept working. When he was physically exhausted, he kept working. He built a reputation and a career not through intensity alone, but through the consistency that turned intensity into routine. Anyone can work hard for a day. A few can work hard for a week. But the ones who win are the ones who keep going even after the excitement fades. Consistency is what separates dreams from results. A dream without consistency is just a wish. A goal without consistency is just a fantasy. You can have all the talent, all the potential, all the ambition in the world, but if you cannot show up consistently, you will never unlock the highest version of yourself. Consistency is the foundation of excellence because excellence is not built in big, dramatic moments. It is built in the small, repetitive actions that no one sees. Those daily choices that accumulate over time into unstoppable momentum. Ruthless consistency means you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop giving in to excuses like, I'll start tomorrow, I'm too tired, or I don't feel like it today. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. It will always push you toward the easier path. But growth does not happen on the easy path. Strength does not come from comfort. Becoming unstoppable means becoming the kind of person who acts based on commitment, not convenience. You decide what needs to be done and you do it. No debate, no hesitation. Consistency also builds identity. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you prove something important to yourself, that you are reliable, that you are disciplined, that you can be trusted to follow through. That identity becomes your strength. It becomes your armor. It becomes the reason you don't give up when things get hard. Because once you become someone who consistently honors their goals, you can't go back to being someone who breaks promises to themselves. Another powerful aspect of ruthless consistency is that it compounds. Even small effort, repeated consistently, creates massive results over time. 10 minutes of discipline every day beats 2 hours of effort once a month. A single step forward every day will outpace the person who runs for a week and quits for a month. The Rock didn't transform overnight. He transformed through thousands of days of showing up, staying focused, and doing the work. Consistency turns average into exceptional. It turns beginners into experts. It turns weak mindsets into unbreakable ones. Of course, consistency does not mean perfection. No one is perfect. No one avoids every mistake. Consistency means you refuse to quit. If you fall, you get back up. If you slip, you correct your course. If you lose momentum, you rebuild it. Being ruthless is not about being flawless. It's about being relentless. It's about refusing to let setbacks turn into stop signs. It's about choosing progress, even if it's slow, instead of surrendering to failure. Becoming unstoppable also requires consistency in the face of boredom. People don't talk about this part enough. The truth is, mastery is repetitive. Success is repetitive. Growth is repetitive. You will do the same things over and over. You will practice the same skills. You will train the same discipline. Most people quit, not because the journey is too hard, but because it becomes too repetitive. They chase excitement instead of progress. But unstoppable people understand that boredom is a test, and only those who push through boredom reach greatness. Ruthless consistency also means being honest with yourself about what you truly want. If your actions don't align with your goals, then your goals are just words. Becoming unstoppable means aligning your daily habits with your purpose. It means shaping your environment, your routine, and your mindset to support the life you're trying to build. The Rock's schedule, his training, his discipline, they're all designed to reinforce his mission. There's no room for randomness, no room for laziness. Everything is intentional. When you operate with ruthless consistency, you eventually become something rare, dependable, powerful, and unstoppable. You gain an edge because most people quit early, most people break under pressure. Most people wait for motivation while you are creating momentum. Your consistency becomes a force that no one can compete with. It becomes your superpower. And that's what true power looks like. Not talent, not luck, not bursts of effort, but the quiet, constant, unshakable commitment to keep going. Becoming unstoppable is not about being the strongest or the fastest. It's about being the one who never stops showing up, the one who refuses to quit, the one who honors their mission no matter what. Ruthless consistency doesn't just change your results, it changes you. It builds a version of you that fears nothing. Because you've proven to yourself that you can endure anything. Once you become that version, once you become unstoppable, there is nothing in this world that can hold you back.